but this is narcissism, and I think there's so many people that are just so concerned with themselves. And really, that's what child predators are. They don't think about who they're hurting. They just think about consuming the child, for their own satisfaction. And it's just narcissism at its worst. Posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share. You can't do that. How have they not executed a search warrant on this guy's devices? And then to maintain a relationship until he turns 16. You tell me that's not grooming? That's grooming. There's no question that's grooming. Bet you $1 to a hole in a donut that if you search all of Ava's, you're going to find all kinds of stuff. All kinds. Because what people do in the dark, what people do in isolation until they're found out is called compulsion. I don't know if the cops are involved in this yet, but when you sit there and you have text conversations or chats with a 13-year-old boy, if you're a grown adult, you have no business chatting with a 13-year-old that's not your child. You just fucking don't.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Well, who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And who is he? Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
Hi, this is Bruce Rivers. Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, your very own board-certified criminal defense lawyer. Board certified by the National Board of Trial Advocacy and by the Minnesota State Bar Association as a criminal law specialist and a criminal trial specialist. It means I don't write passports to prison. It means I don't hold your hand as you enter your plea of guilty and I just don't do a fucking thing. What it means is that I'm tried and tested in the courtroom. I try a lot of cases. I win most of the cases that I try, but some I don't. And I'm not going to lie. Any lawyer that tells you they win every single case is either a liar or a pussy. And this is not true because we get our ass kicked plenty. But I'm joined today by our content genius, Michael Rivers. Michael Rivers is in front of the camera, and behind the mic, and behind every idea we do. How do you get in front of the camera and behind the camera, Michael? How do you do that?
I don't know. It's a lot of work. And then edit. So
all right, that's enough. Quit talking. No,
yeah, no.
I'm kidding.
He treats me like that already.
No, I don't. So today, here's the other thing. We have a new development. We started CRAM.com. It's a website where you can get merch. Hats are available now, and you'll get them like that because we have a more streamlined operation going on right now. So go to CLR Bruce Rivers. You can get merch, you get hats, and they're available now. And there's Stop Self-Snitching hat, which is a message we want to spread around the country so we protect our people. And then we also have merch like hoodies, sweatshirts, shirts. Yes, Michael.
I was just going to... So they're the ones that are on the table. They're called the CLR Bruce Rivers hats. Stop Self-Snitching hats.
Which will be uploaded shortly, and we're going to do all this in-house. We have a team that we got the quality control. We're control of everything, and in terms of getting it out to you on time. And so just a lot of things that we're doing to improve service to our people. This episode is brought to you by our favorite sponsor, eForms.com. eForms.com is a very effective way to protect yourself with a legal form. For example, if you need a power of attorney, you need a bill of sale, you need any kind of thing to protect your grandma who's living in your basement doing all kinds of weird stuff. Because, grandmas, you can't control them unless you have power of attorney. And where would you get a power of attorney? You get it from eForms.com. Don't go to a lawyer. It costs you too much money to do that. It costs you $1,000 or so to get power of attorney when you could just go to eForms.com for almost nothing. So eForms.com, we use it all the time here. Good way to avoid the high cost of a lawyer and a really good way to keep you out of court because documents don't lie. All right. So today we're reacting to the allegations about Ava / Kris Tyson. Kris Tyson was an employee of MrBeast. And why are we reacting to him? Well, MrBeast, as you probably well know, is the largest YouTuber on the planet. He's got over 300 million subs. The content that they put out is just insane. He's got, $700 million in revenue or thereabouts. It's just kind of crazy, his operation, right? But when you have an operation that big, you're going to be a target, I suppose. And you have to look at the actions of your employees. And he's got a lot of employees. And the one we're looking at today is Ava/Kris Tyson. Ava/Kris Tyson is a trans male. So I suppose she wants to be called she. So she has engaged in some misconduct and almost kind of admits to the misconduct, but struck up a relationship with a 13-year-old boy. 13-year-old boy. I mean, I don't know if the cops are involved in this yet, but when you sit there and you have text conversations or chats with a 13-year-old boy, if you're a grown adult, you have no business chatting with a 13-year-old that's not your child. You just fucking don't. But my understanding is that his predilection for the younger gay persuasion predated his marriage. Oh, what? What was that? Yep, he was married with kids. We all have a flavor, right? I have a flavor. My flavor is tall, brunette, long hair, thin, attractive, model-esque. That's just what I like. Some people might like a blonde. Some people might like them thick. Some people might like them thin. Some people like, whatever flavor, foreign, domestic. It's like fucking cars. We like what we like. But one thing that you can't like is kids. You just can't fucking like kids. It's illegal. And if you solicit kids for sex, that's illegal. If you joint jerk off, it's illegal. You can't do that. And so I don't exactly know what the allegations with Kris Tyson are, or Ava, as she wants to be called now. But we do have a little statement from he was let go by MrBeast.
MrBeast claimed that he knew nothing about this.
Yeah, MrBeast says, I don't know. I see nothing. I know nothing. That's what he's basically, what?
That was like an Asian accent.
No, it wasn't. That was from Hogan's Heroes.
Oh, okay.
In case you were wondering, that was a German accent, not an Asian accent, Michael. It was from Hogan's Heroes.
Okay.
That's Colonel Klink. I know nothing. I see nothing.
Okay.
That's German. Anyway, who fucking cares? MrBeast says he didn't know anything at the time. During that time, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. That said, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Ava from the company, my channel, and association with MrBeast. And then he says, I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. What inappropriate actions are we talking about? Are we talking about some sexual charged chats with a 13-year-old? Are we talking about the lolly? And I didn't even know what lolly was until I got into this story. You know what lolly is? It's like anime sexualized,
Well, yeah, anime goes to hentai. Hentai is the porn version of anime, and then lolly is the pedophile version of hentai.
So Ava has been chatting with this Shadman, who's the master drawing a lot of this stuff. And the reason they do this is because drawing it is not illegal, but having real live images, on your device or whatever is 100% illegal. So I would bet you $1 to a hole in a donut that if you search all of Ava's shit, you're gonna find all kinds of stuff, all kinds. Because what people do in the dark, what people do in isolation, until they're found out, is called compulsion. And sex is a compulsive activity, isn't it? We want to do it over and over and over again, don't we? I mean, no matter what your flavor is. But with kids, it's illegal. So don't fucking do it. And it's disgusting. So when confronted after they're split up, Ava says, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments. If it hurt or offended anyone, it was not my intent, she continued. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best that I permanently we've decided, yeah, give me a break. That I permanently step away from all things MrBeast and social media to focus on my family that I've fucked over and my mental health. She concluded, I want to add, however, I never groomed anyone except for the guy that I brought into the woods in a camper. She didn't say that last part. I made that up. The person who gets brought up in these accusations has vocally supported that they are false. One of the things that people who are victims of this don't really think that they're victims. When you're 13, guess what? You cannot consent to anything. You can't consent to sex. You can't consent to sexting. Consent is not an issue. I mean, it's not until you're 15, 16 that consent becomes, well, it's 16 actually in most states. 15 is where you can start to argue that, oh, I thought they were 18, you know, whatever. So stupid, honestly. I mean, why do you need to go that way? Why? Because you don't have self-esteem and you're into young people, like really young people. And the sentences right now for these types of behaviors are almost like murder sentences. And I think they should be, because although the school of thought on these ultra long sentences is that you're especially when there's like a hardcore sexual assault against a child, is that you're encouraging to get rid of the person rather than, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say the incentive not to do the death penalty for pedophiles is because of if there is the death penalty, that gives the person the incentive to kill the child.
Yeah, absolutely it does. If you have the death penalty for sexual assault against a child, you incentivize homicide. You know, getting rid of the body, getting rid of the witness, don't you? I mean, you kind of do. Although when people are doing this stuff, they're not thinking about the law, in all honesty. They just aren't. But when you have an organization like MrBeast, you're responsible for the actions of your employees, aren't you? To a certain extent, especially when you're online. Because when you're online, it is really important. What did you know? When did you know it? Did you take any actions to stop it? Was any of this happening under your watch? What did you know? Well, check this out. I mean, MrBeast has always said he didn't know anything about this. And so Discount Milk says, no, he's not. His penis isn't big enough. I'd know. And then MrBeast says, no, I know his penis size, and it's huge. Beast, are you gay? That moment that you deep throat a whole cock. I'll deep throat Chris the meme god dick. Haha. MrBeast joins in the comment on my penis size. I love it. So you've got some, you know, depraved comments going on between, and this is when? This is like
2017.
2017. So this is like 5 years ago. No, it's a long time ago. I don't know what that comment necessarily proves. It just, you know, guys can talk, Locker talk too, you know, but it does show that he knows that there's some gay talk and that there's, you know, and it's sexually charged and it's in the workplace. I'm trying to get it to the beginning.
Oh, here. Do you want me to help?
No.
Okay. I'll sit right here and just.
Okay, come here. How do you start it over?
I thought you didn't want my output.
Shut up.
This ain't true. And this screenshot is Kris Tyson talking one-on-one with him. And at this point, he would have been 16. And here we go. Here is the picture of them meeting up together. I'm going to censor his face. And as you can see right there, there's Carl right there. There's Kris Tyson right there. Kris Tyson was talking to this guy since he was 13. Kris Tyson was in college. And of course, the moment he was able to drive, he takes a camper van out in the middle of the woods, which, by the way, very secluded area. Let me talk about that. Anytime that someone is taking a camper van somewhere, bringing it out in the desert or the middle of the woods, it's very...
Is that a red flag? I don't know. Let me go on a limb and say, if you're secluding yourself in a camper van in the fucking woods, probably trying to hide something, like your 16-year-old boy. Just my guess. Or his whether you're a bottom or top.
It's very unnecessary because there's RV parks, there's the Walmart parking lot, there's plenty of areas you can...
There's a Walmart parking lot. He says there's so many other places you could go. You could go to a fucking Walmart parking lot. But why do you need a camper van to begin with? if you're 15 and you take a picture of your wiener and you send it somewhere, that's not only manufacture, it's also distribution of child pornography. Might seem odd, for a child to do that, and it would be child pornography, but it is. Because it's their body, but it still is it's what it is. When an adult takes a nude of themselves and sends it to a child, it's solicitation of a minor for sex. It's what it is. And that is going to be highly illegal. And it's also a form of grooming. It's all kinds of other stuff. This is 2018, so this is quite a while ago. Check again, whatever that means. Posted some fire nudes for you. Please no share. That is, you can't do that. And here's the other thing. How have they not executed a search warrant on this guy's devices? I mean, you already know that he's sending the child nudes or soliciting a child for nudes, and so why you would be doing that is just for one reason and one reason alone. And then to maintain a relationship until he turns 16. You tell me that's not grooming? That's grooming. There's no question that's grooming. But it's the minor stuff that we're dealing with. And guess what? She should definitely have custody of that child, because who knows? If this guy's into little kids, probably wouldn't do anything to his own kid. But I mean, you just can't trust somebody that likes to have sex with children to raise children. I mean, you just can't. So we're going to show you right now is a Discord leak. Number 13, Chris the Meme God. You guys ever just want to live a different life just to see what it's like? Sometimes I wish I was a NEET. Child Eating Club, rise up. I season them with their own tears. Yeah. Chris the Meme God, ditch your wife, spend no money, work for Jimmy for 2 years. I would love to sell everything and just live in a shitty apartment and play video and watch anime all day long. This is the problem. When you're smoking a lot of weed or doing drugs, and I'm not saying that he's doing drugs, but it sounds to me like you just want to get rid of your responsibilities, and you just want to be selfish, and you just want to feed your id. That's what this sounds like. And I had a client who all he did was smoke weed. And he had a lot of, video games and kind of stuff like that. And he was running out of money, living at his home with parents. And what did he decide to do? He decided to kill his parents, and he thought he would get his inheritance, move to Amsterdam, and open a hashish shop. This is how fucked up some people are in the way they're thinking. He shot mom. Dad jumps out the window and remained alive to be a witness against his own son in a murder case. Murder and attempted murder. When I hear stuff like this, I would love to sell everything I have and just live in a shitty apartment and just play video and watch anime all day. Dude, there's no greater joy. There's no greater privilege than being a parent. And you're a fucking parent. And that's all you want to do? I mean, and then you have the audacity to message little boys? You never thought before you had a child that you would just freely give your life up for them, like jump in front of a train, or you would just do it automatically. When you love somebody that much, there's no greater privilege. There's no raising you and Jackie. There's been no greater privilege, honestly, and So, but my point is that to live a selfish life where you have no purpose but to feed your face and play video games. Who does that? Nobody should do that. You should have goals. You should have purpose. You should have meaning. You should love your neighbor. You should reach out and help people. You should do whatever you got to do. But this is narcissism, and I think there's so many people that are just so concerned with themselves. And really, that's what child predators are. They don't think about who they're hurting. They just think about consuming the child, for their own satisfaction. And it's just narcissism at its worst. When you're a meme god and you're living in cyber world and that's all you fucking do, You know, you don't get outside. I mean, because all he wants to do is sit and play vids, right? When you're doing that, you fall into a trap of isolation, of fake world versus real world. And people do things behind a computer screen that you wouldn't do in public. You know, although he seems to be so calculated as to groom this kid until he's 16 and they wind up meeting in a van down by the river, which I just think is ridiculous. So I wouldn't be surprised what you would find on Ava's computer. And I'll be shocked, absolutely shocked, if in the coming weeks we don't see a search warrant for that computer and a search warrant for his house, search warrant for his phone, all devices. And then all of a sudden the search warrants go out. A lot of times what they do with this stuff is they won't search your stuff. They'll go to Yahoo or Google or Facebook or Discord or wherever. I'm showing my age a little bit. They'll go get warrants for these different places, and they'll produce the records, and that'll give them probable cause to go then now look at the devices within the home. And you won't know it's coming. You will not. In fact, you'll be fucked before they get there. And I wouldn't be surprised. I can sense these things. You know, I just knowing what I know right now, and it's not that much. I would be shocked in the next months that we wouldn't see a search warrant executed on Ava's devices all over the place. Ava, if you're listening, you want to be smart, stop what you're doing. Get into some therapy. Get off of these chats. But guess what? They're compulsive. They're addictive. I mean, I got rid of TikTok. In fact, I got rid of all social media on my phone. And you know what? I'm not doing this all the fucking time anymore. You know, I mean, getting outside, you know, interacting with people, you know, not doing this, you know, not wondering let me put my TikTok video, let me do my dance. You know, it's just living in that cyber world is caustic, destructive. And, you know, and I'm no different than anybody else. I fell victim to that kind of crap. And I don't have any of it on my devices anymore at all. And I feel like a free, you know, that I'm not a slave to your computer or to your Instagram account or your TikTok or, you know, Facebook or any of that bullshit. And here we are on YouTube. Pay attention up. But this is more of an informative show, and we've created a little community. But don't let this be your world. I mean, get out there. You know, let's get online and let's talk and let's see what, you know. It's just fake. It's just all fake. But meeting somebody in the woods is fucking real. Grooming somebody since they were 13 is real. Sending somebody who's 13 a nude pictures is illegal, and it's real. And guess what? There is no statute of limitations, really, on child sex cases. I mean, there is, but there isn't. In Minnesota, it's like 9 years after they reach majority or 3 years after it's reported, whichever is longer. You know, and so if it's never reported, they can come back 30 years later and nab your ass. And the sentences are through the roof. This is going to be an ongoing thing with MrBeast, because he's going to have an investigation. He'll come out with some public statement that's so sanitized that, you know, it'll be written by corporate lawyers. I guarantee it's going to be written by corporate lawyers. I guarantee you that the tweet that he put out was written by a corporate lawyer. We are doing an independent investigation to get to the bottom of this reprehensible conduct. Give me a fucking break. You know what was going on, and it was going on under your watch. And live and die by the sword, right?
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away. 23-hour lockdown, police is at my god.